String of sacred beads that I carry, they help me understand the kind of person that I can be. By steady meditation, realize that I am free. I realize that I am me. You are you, I and I. Worship the sun and the moon as the eyes of the Most High. Witness the beauty of the soul and almost cry. Choose the light every time and let the ghost die. Chant the mantra, get high and let my soul fly. Lord is in my heart, so you know He's always close by. These beads give me guidance, beads give me hope. When the world gets dark, these beads help me cope. Wanna wash away your karma? These beads are the soap. You can string them on wire, string them on rope. These beads keep me high, don't need no dope. I keep my mullahs real close to me, just the way a lover's supposed to be. They're way more than beads on a string, you see. And the highest of the highest, Tulasi Maharani. Now M-A-L-A, that's a fact. Meditate, activate, love attract. Wear a mullah around your neck to keep love intact. Raise your mullahs in the air, we on a love attack. Let the people of the world know love is back. Let the people of the world know God is black. Blue, yellow, green, and sometimes white. When you get to know the truth, then the sun shines bright. When my heart's in the lyrics, then I rhyme tight and lead the people of the world to the sublime light. I can reach up, touch the stars when I speak up. Spit fake nonsense, boy, I can't keep up. I'm a hurricane, you're a storm in the deep. I don't watch that material accumulation. I'm all about that spiritual illumination. Check my progress every day when I'm in meditation. Every second celebrate, cause life's a celebration. Use my mullah to accelerate my elevation through the school of transcendental higher education. These beads give me guidance, beads give me hope. When the world gets dark, these beads help me cope. Wanna wash away your karma? These beads are the soap. You can string them on wire, string them on rope. These beads keep me high, don't need no dope. These beads keep me high, don't need no dope. These beats keep me high, don't need no dope. These beats keep me high, don't need no dope.
I was born in Cape Town in South Africa during the time of apartheid, which was a difficult time for the South African nation. So there was a lot of segregation, black people here, white people here, brown people here, everybody separate, very much body conscious way of thinking that was presented by the government, and everybody had to conform to that for many, many years in South Africa. So at the time I was in my childhood years, I didn't have any religious or spiritual teaching from my parents. Actually, they would go maybe to church one time in a year on Christmas Day, otherwise nothing. So they weren't really Christian, they weren't really practicing anything, only just sort of surviving, existing, having some material enjoyment, some material life like that. And I was seeking something spiritual from about the age of 10, as far as I can remember. I understood that there is a creator, there is a God, there is somebody who has manifested the universe, that it's not some accident, and that I am connected, joined to that person, that creator, in a profound way, but I don't not yet know the relationship. So I went seeking for that connection. I took myself to church, to Sunday school, to youth groups with the Christians, and asked many questions there, but I couldn't get the answers that I wanted. And then I dabbled myself in reading this and that philosophy books, which I could get my hands on at the time. After some time, around about 16 years old, I decided that, okay, I can't find answers to my questions, so let me become powerful. Let me study magic, tantra, something like that, where I can gain some power. So that day I went, made one decision. I went to the market, the city center in Cape Town, and I bought 3 books on magic, black magic. And as I was walking back through the city center, there's a huge marketplace in in the center of town called Green Market Square. So in that square, so many people are selling different products, and so many African curios and this thing and that thing. And in the midst of all of that, there was one table with a very tall saffron-clad monk, and he was standing there with a table full of books and incense burning. This is in about 1988 in South Africa. So I was completely taken by the scene, and I stopped immediately to speak to him. And we started a conversation, slowly speaking, and so many books were there. As you know, I had already purchased 3 books on magic, so I had in my bag my books, and I saw a whole bunch more books. And I asked him about the books, what were they, what was the content, and he started to explain something about spiritual life. Everything he said was resonating with me. Eventually, he said to me, would I like some books? And then I pointed out that I just purchased the 3 books. This is maybe a 3-hour conversation that we had in the Green Market Square. So I produced my books on magic, and without hesitating, he simply said, I'll exchange you. You can take 3 of my books, I'll take your books. No request for donation, no request for money, nothing like that. So I did. I exchanged my books, books on magic, for the books on the real magic. And the real magic is Prabhupada's philosophy, Prabhupada's teachings. And I took those books home, read the books, started to understand the philosophy, and went to the temple and met the devotees and started to ask questions, participate in the programs regularly. And like that, I became very attracted to Krishna consciousness. So after some time visiting the temple and asking so many questions, I became completely convinced that that Krishna consciousness was the only way. Although I didn't immediately join the temple and stay there, I went to university and completed a degree in fine art, religious studies, and social anthropology. But I did a lot of service at different times, and the service which I most enjoyed, I think, is Food for Life. So distributing prasadam and having joyous kirtan together is something that's very dear to me, very important to me. And I think that kind of service is something that can bring any aspiring devotee closer to the Lord. You really see the Lord's mercy at work when you distribute prasadam and see the happy faces of the recipients when you chant in Harinam as well, and see the ecstasy and delight of the general people around is very interesting. One interesting story, I moved to London at one point in the 90s, and one interesting story happened there. I was working at the reception of the Soho Street Temple, and one small boy, maybe 6 to 8 years old, came running in alone and said, is this Krishna's house? Is this Krishna's house? He was a young Western boy, British boy, and we started speaking to him, me and some other devotees, and we were saying, yes, this is the temple, Krishna is here. And he started explaining to us about his desire to see Krishna, his desire to see the Lord, and he couldn't believe he found a temple. And then a few minutes later, his parents walked in. So we met his parents and we asked them, how is your son so attracted to Krishna? They said, we have no idea really. We live in, we're actually on our way to the pub to have a drink, to the bar to have a drink. And we just walked past here and he ran in. Actually, they said that they live in an area, they have some neighbors who are Hindu, and somehow he had seen some pictures on their wall of Krishna, so he became completely obsessed with Krishna, with Indian philosophy and like that, but at a very young age. So they said they'd be off to the pub, and they left him with us. And so he was in ecstasy. We said, would you like to see the deities? He said, I haven't taken bath yet. First I have to clean myself. So he knew in his heart so much philosophy. And actually he was preaching to us for maybe 1 hour. He knew so many things. He he wanted a songbook, he wanted to sing bhajans. So he took the songbook and some other books. We gave him a bunch of books. It was a very interesting experience for me to see truly how the benefit, spiritual benefit from a previous life is carried over into the next, regardless almost of the birth. He was not born into a family of devotees, but that knowledge remained with him. So it's that powerful that from that young age of around 6 years, he started to seek Krishna, and was in such ecstasy to find the temple. I first got the books the first time from that wonderful devotee Yashomati Prabhu in Cape Town. I studied the books at home. I hadn't been to the temple yet, and I was seeing Srila Prabhupada's picture and reading his words. I became very attracted to him, and I thought, okay, here's my guru. I didn't understand Prabhupada had left already. So just by reading the books, I had no knowledge of that, and I thought, okay, let me go and find Srila Prabhupada, because this is definitely my spiritual master. And it was only when I went to the temple and spoke to the devotees, I realized Prabhupada had left. I was devastated. For days I was kind of depressed and in some kind of bad shape, because I was so much looking forward to finding Prabhupada and becoming his disciple. And then I understood gradually that there are authorized and bona fide representatives, and we have a parampara, and I could still find a guru, a spiritual master. It wasn't until I came to Mayapur in 2007 that I really began that search in earnest for a spiritual master. I still didn't know who it would be, but I had in my mind that so many gurus will visit Mayapur and it'll be easy to find somebody. I was attracted to Bhakti Charu Maharaj very much because he visited Cape Town, in South Africa in general, a lot in the early years when I was just discovering Krishna Consciousness. And I was thinking actually almost anybody except Jayapataka Swami, because Jayapataka Maharaj is too big, too like famous. I'll never get any association. I was thinking that probably anybody except Jayapataka Swami. And I became very close at that time. I was in the Brahmachari ashram doing Harinam every day, and I became very close with Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. And he's a disciple of Jayapataka Swami. So I was visiting him in his room, discussing philosophy. He was helping me in my spiritual life. And then he said, actually Ratha Yatra is coming very soon. We should go to Calcutta. You come with me, take your bag, and I will introduce you to my guru, the spiritual master of the world, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. So I said, okay, very good, let's go to Calcutta. And we went there, we came late at night, we took rest, woke up in the morning, and we went straight to Jayapataka Swami's room in the Calcutta temple. We entered, paid obeisances. Maharaj was next to me, and His Holiness Jayapataka Swami was reclining on a sofa, something like this, in the early morning, and he said to Maharaj, "Who is this?" So Maharaj said, "This is Bhakta Greg, he's from South Africa." And Jayapataka Maharaj looked at me in my face and said, "Who is your spiritual master?" And I said, "You are Guru Maharaj." Like that, exactly in 1 second. And so we spoke a little bit, and I was doing massage treatment at that time, reflexology and massage. And I asked His Holiness Jayapataka Swami if he would like a massage. He said immediately, he said, "Yes, let's go." He lay on the bed, I did reflexology, I massaged his feet, his lotus feet. And he spoke to me regularly during the massage, asking me about my spiritual aspirations, what I wanted to achieve in spiritual life. And at the end he said, "I accept you. Welcome to my family." He gave me a big embrace, and then proceeded to the Ratha Yatra, where he was on Lord Jagannath's cart at the beginning of the Rath, and I was standing in this crowd of 1,000 people, and he threw one garland that came straight virtually on my head. So I took it as a great mercy at that time, and a very strong signal of who my spiritual master was. So it was very, how do you say, interesting, auspicious, dramatic kind of finding of my guru, of my spiritual master. For most of the time that I've been in Mayapur, I was involved in some kind of management with the community, and later as a deputy director and co-director of the project. But now my service has changed quite a lot, and the last couple of years really, and maybe 1.5 years, last 1.5 years more intensely, my wife and myself have been working with Tulasi, making high quality Tulasi malas for the devotees worldwide. We try to glorify Tulasi Maharani, we try to decorate her, find new ways of expressing our devotion to her through jewelry, through making of japa beads, all different kinds of malas that we do. And we are very satisfied and happy with that service. We feel the blessings of Tulasi Devi are showering upon us all the time. The devotees are very pleased, and we get a lot of mercy that way through that service. Recently, I started pursuing more my music. I've been writing lyrics for many years, but not really translating that into songs or recording properly, just doing bits and pieces here and there. But recently I made one song about malas, about the glories of Tulasi Maharani and spiritual life in general. So that song has become a little popular. We made a music video, and on Facebook it's doing really well. I have a lot of positive comments from devotees from all over the world that appreciate it, that see the preaching in it and the preaching aspect of it. So I think I finally found a way that I can preach through music and through creativity with the Tulasi mala production, which is important for me because, as I said previously, you know, I was involved in management for a long time, and I feel that the creative part of my nature was not being fully expressed, and now I have a chance to do that. So many more music projects are set to come. I'm now working with musicians from different parts of the world, and hopefully those projects will bear fruit and we'll make positive, enlivening music that touches people's hearts, that hopefully does some kind of preaching. Much of the music that we are making is not aimed at the devotee market, so to speak, but is more of a tool to bring those interested in spiritual life a little closer to the truth. Truth being the Vedas. And so right now there is a very big kind of movement in the world towards yoga culture, yoga study, which, as we know in our movement, the highest aspect of yoga is bhakti yoga, the highest expression of that. And so these spiritual seekers that are now populating the world, going to yoga schools and so on, our objective through music and also through the jewelry is to touch that group of people and to try to bring them a little closer to the real core concept of yoga, the real goal of yoga, which is to link with the Supreme. So my wife and I have 3 young daughters, all born in Mayapur, in the house, and our future plan really is to try to stay in Mayapur. Mayapur is the best place in the world, we believe, to bring up children in Krishna consciousness. We've seen many children over the 10 years that we've been in Mayapur that have become really wonderful devotees just by being in the Dham. just by absorbing the culture that is in Mayapur. So we pray for the chance to stay here, that our children will grow up in Mayapur and become Krishna conscious. Our plans for the future generally involve a lot more music, a lot more malas, a lot more creativity, and expanding on our desire to serve Tulasi Maharani, our desire to serve the devotees, and some exciting future projects coming up. I won't say too much now because I'd rather get those projects rolling first, but we have our Facebook page for the malas. We have an Instagram account where people can follow us and see what we're doing. I've got a personal page for my music on Facebook as well, and certainly the devotees can follow there and see what's coming up, what projects are coming up in terms of new music, videos, that kind of thing. So hopefully the creative process in all these aspects will sustain us and help to keep us in Mayapur. That is my sincere desire, and I pray for the blessings of the devotees worldwide that we be allowed to stay in Mayapur and serve Guru and Krishna in that way.
Now I know the forces of light are walking with me. Army of angels backing me up, better believe. I give thanks and praise daily for the gifts I receive, the countless blessings flowing unconditionally. The true reality is I'm a part of you and you're a part of me. We are part and parcel of a cosmic university. To graduate you need to pass a test and solve the mystery. I know you think it's scary, but it can be done so easily. Just learn to love God, yourself, your friends and even your enemy. You will see your life will turn from hellish into heavenly. Message that I bring is not about religion, but about the light inside the heart of every man and woman. Life is precious and we need to make the right decision. Choose love over hate, peace, not destruction. Car too many people living in illusion. Media messages causing confusion. Fear breathing in the hearts of the population. Forces of light unite for the revolution. When you meet the goddess looking to a horizon, on the horizon you will see the rising sun. We just begun this lifelong mission till it's strong. The path is dangerous for many obstacles to overcome, so don't run and fall. Walk slow and stand tall. Assemble on the streets when you hear the battle call. All for one and one for all. That means you look out for your brother when his back's to the wall, and call on the forces of light to be your best. Buddha blessed, stainless, mystical witness. No thanks, mate. I don't need your bulletproof vest. I'm protected by the light that's shining out of my chest, illuminating, in fact, illuminating darkness.